Again. Okay, so welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast with myself. If you don't know my name, then my name is Bautista Zuka. Sorry. I don't know why I'm so moody today, but I am. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about what has been going around the top three leagues that I cover pretty much on a. I don't even know what this is anymore, like 2-month basis. I'm trying to post more during the summer, hopefully. Gonna have a lot more time in my hands, obviously. Probably going to post like 3 times a month if I can. Don't quote me on that, please. But I'll attempt it. I'm probably going to start doing a lot of solos because just I can't find the time to speak to people and arrange things with people. I might have some episodes here and there, but just expect me to be usually just myself, just speaking on what is going on. And I'm probably going to start focusing more on just basketball in general because that's just the main sport that I like, and it's just the thing that I'm most knowledge of on, and this is, to me, it's just way smoother to just talk about that instead of having to make up things and like act like I know a lot about other leagues when in reality I only know about basketball. So yeah, I'm just going to speak on the NBA and probably college basketball from now on, and maybe a bit of high school if there is. I don't know, like the season's already over for high school basketball, so yeah, probably going to talk about it during the season next year. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm still doing this by then. But, anyways, let's get started. So, college basketball wise, we are going to speak on March Madness. So, right now, the day that I'm recording this, which is April 1st, 2021, it is the Final Four, which is Houston against Baylor and Gonzaga against UCLA, which, in my opinion, in my bracket at least, I put University of Houston winning it all just because, yeah, I live in Houston. That's it. And then I wasn't expecting Gonzaga to make the final, the championship game, but I put Michigan, and sadly they lost against the 11th seeded UCLA Bruins, which in my opinion is fine because I love an underdog story, and I really hope the UCLA Bruins make the championship. Just because, who cares? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Over like recruit wise for college, NBA draft topic. Jalen Green has been playing decent. He played decent in the G League bubble. Like he didn't really the first couple of games. He looked like he was struggling, but then he actually started picking up his rhythm. But a player that surprised me and a lot of people don't really talk about is Jonathan Kuminga, which is one of the players that played for Ignite in the NBA G League with Jalen Green. And in the first couple of games, man, that guy just looked like he looked so smooth. He looked like he knew the flow of the game. He knew how like the game was played. He has the ability to become a great outside threat, and is also a good big man and can rebound very well. So that's always a great thing to have in this league, which just a developing big, just like Onyeka Okongwu, who still needs to develop his outside shooting. And I don't think he's played much this year. I don't even know if he has due to injuries he suffered. But yeah, just another great big that's coming. Another big that's also coming to the league is USC's Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is a good stretch big. He's very skinny for a center, which in my opinion is fine in college. But once he gets to the NBA, he's going to want to put some weight on himself because the NBA game is way more physical, and just being like, for example, Mo Bamba in the past. Mo Bamba came into the league very skinny and he was athletic, of course, but he just like got outpowered a lot of the times by the other bigs such as Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, who, as you know, are like pretty big and strong players compared to these younger guys. So if they're able to put some weight on in the summer, that would be great. Not just for their draft stock, even though the draft is coming up soon, but also for like the team, the development of their career, and like the player that they want to like pan out to be. So yeah, that's my take kind of on what these big men are going to do. Like prospect wise, great guard is Cade Cunningham, who declared for the draft. Another great guard who many people don't see as a guard. They see him more as a forward is Scotty Lewis. And Scotty Barnes. He is an FSU player. He was very good for the Seminoles this year. He played a very decent role, and he established himself as like just a great handler and floor spacer for them, which was very needed as FSU lost their sixth man last year, Patrick Williams, who went to the Chicago Bulls in the draft, which was a huge surprise to many people and also to me, because who drafts a six man of the year winner out of the draft when they didn't even start in college and he didn't have over 10 points per game? But the Bulls are doing pretty decent with him. Like he's getting the touches that he needs to get. Zach LaVine is doing good with him. Kobe White as well, and they just recently traded for Nikola Vucevic, which is a great pickup for them in my opinion. That's just like going to establish that they're a win now team, since they traded away some key young players such as Wendell Carter Jr. and Otto Porter. He's not as young as he used to be, but yeah, I feel like they got the better side of the trade in Nikola Vucevic, as he is a former All-Star and has the caliber to be an All-Star player. And pairing him up with Zach LaVine is just a great fit in my opinion, as he can just crash the boards. So Zach LaVine is already an established shooter, so once like if they even have any problems rebounding wise, Lauri Markkanen and Nikola Vucevic are always there to pick it up. And yeah, excuse me. And another great point guard prospect is Auburn's Sharif Cooper. We know that he didn't have as many reps as many people would have liked him to due to injury, but in the games that he played back, he was averaging over 20 points, and he led them to some key wins, including one against Alabama, and I believe it was against Alabama. Don't quote me on that one. But yeah, he led them to some key wins that established him and raised his draft stock a lot. And he is just another great player. Even though he is pretty short for today's NBA, he's still a very agile player, a very good finisher at the rim somehow, very good shooter, and he can take anyone 1-on-1 if he wants to in isolation, so he can just blow by them. He's just a great talent in my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the NBA draft wise. Like, those are some of my favorite players that I was seeing during the tournament, not just the tournament, but also during the G League. And in the NBA, as some of you may know, my favorite team is the San Antonio Spurs, and they recently bought out LaMarcus Aldridge's contract, which to me is a very great move, as LaMarcus Aldridge was getting up there in age and we were overpaying him because he wasn't he was supposed to produce very good numbers, but he wasn't producing the numbers that we wanted him to, and he was getting very slow compared to Jakob Pertl. But a great surprise for the Spurs this year, and honestly, I think that he should be a most improved player candidate, is Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson, last year, he did not have the greatest year. Going into the bubble, when he started playing in the bubble, at first I saw him and I was like, who is this guy? Like, why are we playing him over Rudy Gay and other players that we had at the time? But now I see what Pop saw, and honestly, I don't even know why I ever doubted Pop in the first place. Because Keldon Johnson is just a menace. They call him the Mustang because he's always crashing the glass, being active, always very amped up over putbacks, over dunks, over layups. He's just a very physical player in general. He's actually on the heavier side to be a shooting guard slash small forward, which really allows his game to flow even more, as like people need to worry about his 3-point shooting as well as his driving and finishing skills, and also his defense. He's a very lengthy player, a very good athlete, so it's very hard to find players like that late in the draft, as they drafted him pretty late. But in my opinion, that was a great pick at the time that they drafted him. He was the 27th pick, I believe. And yeah, that's, in my opinion, that was the best pickup we could have gotten. And in last year's draft, we picked up, last year, 2020, they picked up Devin Vassell, which is a small forward from FSU, who is known very much for his defense, which the Spurs were very lacking of last year. The only good defender that they really had was DeJounte Murray on the ball, which was a guard, and then they had Jakob Pertl. But Jakob is still establishing himself. DeJounte is already one of the top players in steals, and he's just a great defender overall. But Jakob was not the greatest, and they really needed to fill in a role at the small forward position, as they're going to start playing DeMar more at like the 3 and the 4. So the Spurs really got a lengthy player and a good floor stretcher too. He can shoot the 3 very well. And Pop just loves this kid so much. He's just always talking about how good he is and how much effort he puts in. And he has trust in him. He plays him a lot sometimes, and of course, he's still a rookie, so he needs to prove himself in practice first to Pop. So he's just really just waiting for him, and he's just waiting his chance. That's just what you have to do when you go to San Antonio. You just wait, and once you get your opportunity, you are going to have to make the most of it, because Pop does not like to give people that much time, even though we are currently in rebuild mode, so it would be logical for him to give you time. But like in the NBA, you really need to contribute as much as you can in the opportunities that you get, so that you can maintain your spot on the team. And a very late round draft pick that we got this year, which to me was a very good player, even though we didn't really need him, was Trey Jones. He was a former 5-star recruit for Duke, and to me, he was one of the better players that we could have drafted at that part of the draft. We drafted him in the second round, and yeah, he was just a great pickup for the team, as he is a great playmaker and on-ball defender as well. So the Spurs really focused on defense this year when drafting, which in my opinion is very necessary. But we didn't really draft him for now, I am assuming, since we already have Derek White and DeJounte Murray. But we could easily slide Derek White to the 2, and he can just play shooting guard from there. And that would allow for Trey Jones, once he's developed enough, to start making more appearances coming off the second unit, once Patty either moves on or retires. In my opinion, he is going to take a spot and just contribute as much as he can to the team. And another great team that I have been watching lately, and a lot of people should start watching, are the Sacramento Kings, as De'Aaron Fox is averaging over 30 this month. He has had a career night, 39 points as well, and 36 points. So this year has been a really huge year for him. He's averaging close to 25 points a game and close to 6 or 7 assists, I believe. And he's just shooting it way more efficiently. He has all the confidence in the world, leading this team as much as he can to at least be within the top 10 so that they can compete for the play-in tournament to be in the playoffs. And some great surprises are coming from the Eastern Conference, such as the Atlanta Hawks having one of the top seeds again. The Hornets having a pretty good seeding as well. But also some very bad seedings are such as the Washington Wizards, who are expected to make a bigger jump, but right now I believe they're 13th. And the Boston Celtics, who are currently 8th, I believe. And it's not that their good players are playing bad necessarily, it's just they're getting unlucky and they're giving up way too many points to the other teams, so that's not really allowing them to showcase how good they truly are. They just picked up Evan Fournier from the Magic off of a trade and during the trade deadline, so hopefully he can pick it up. He's not known as a defender, but he is certainly a good shooter that can stretch. If Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are having off nights, he can definitely bring some firepower off the bench, which just allows the whole Celtics lineup to flow more. The only bad thing is they did lose Daniel Tice, which in my opinion was a great center for them, but at the same time they still have Robert Williams the third, who is honestly, in my opinion, a better player than Tice. But Tice was really beginning to start shooting close to the mid-range and three-point shots, so I feel like he had more value in this team rather than a rim runner and shot blocker like Robert Williams. But Robert Williams, don't get me wrong, he's still very young and a very good player, and he is, I believe, their starting center at the moment, which is just great. And another surprise player is Moses Brown from the Oklahoma City Thunder. He has been having a lot of double-doubles. He is playing a very good role as he, I believe, went undrafted in last year's draft. So he got picked up by the Thunder G League affiliate, and once they realized how good and dominant he was, and the need at center arose for the Thunder as Al Horford was not producing the way that they wanted him to, they just scooped him up and brought him up to the NBA, and he's just been balling out ever since. That was honestly a great pickup by them. That was just it's a very big role to fill as Steven Adams. He wasn't the greatest scorer, but he was just, you could feel his presence when he was playing. Like the Thunder were just clicking on so many different levels when he plays. So yeah, honestly, having Moses Brown as a replacement is not that bad right now, since he has established himself as a really decent rebounder and as well as a scorer around the rim. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. If you could please like the video, that would be very appreciated. And thank you. This was another podcast. Peace.